Hello fellow YouTubers, LightWC Stop Motioner here. And here I'm going to rank all the Kingdom Wave 1 figures that I have. Now I just have 6 of them. I skipped on, Paleotrex, Vertebrake, the Core Class Optimus Prime, and as of right now I'm skipping Warpath. That might change later, but this is just the Wave 1 figures I have, and hopefully this ranking video will help you if you're like iffy, who you want to get, who you should wait for discount, that kind of thing. So let's begin. So in 6th place we have Cheetor, and what can I say? This guy just let me down. He's not a terrible figure, but there were just way too many compromises made with him. Despite the fact that I would say he's pretty good in his cheetah mode. His yellow is, not from how I fully remember, but his yellow just isn't accurate. The paint on this guy is ridiculously lazy. They didn't even paint pupils, and that mouth in there is just plain. So, yeah, they really cheesed Cheetor. So, as far as the robot mode goes, now the transformation of this guy isn't too bad. It's probably one of the few things where I think they did a pretty good job with it, except this tail. Again, this tail was just lazy. They could have figured out how to turn this thing into a gun, and they didn't. So I've had to make it look like he's about to rock, just to make it look like he has a gun. And again, the paint issues continue. The blue is way too bright, and the yellow just isn't fully accurate. So, yeah, overall, I'm saying either wait for clearance for this guy or get the Netflix one that has a darker blue. And I think he has a better shade of yellow, but he's still missing the gold highlights that he should have. And then the shins are unpainted. So, yeah, you kind of got to take your pick. But either way, 6th place, that goes to Cheetor. In 5th place, we have Megatron. And this figure is actually really good. I really like him. It's just, for the price you're paying for him, it feels a little bit wrong that they made him out of this PVC material. Like, the majority of this figure is PVC. So, I can't exactly say you're getting your bang for your buck. I would have preferred, a hard, sturdy plastic. But for the most part, I'd still say he's good. He's very big. Size-wise, I wouldn't really say he's a ripoff. Then again, his T-Rex mode is very panely. Not as bad as I was expecting, but still. Yeah. So, as far as the robot mode goes, transformation on this guy is not too bad. It's satisfying enough. And again, robot mode is good. Again, the proportions bug me a little bit, but I guess I could see an arm, going into the T-Rex head. They made this detachable, that would have been nice, but still, overall, he's a good figure. Really, if he wasn't made out of that PVC material, and maybe some parts weren't as tight and awkward to, get into place for transformation, I think this guy would be higher on the list. But he's still a good figure. And yeah, he takes number 5. In 4th place, we have good old Rat Trap. And this one is a really good figure, and I would definitely say he's worth the $10, but he does have some issues, like his weapon storage in his rat mode is not very good. And his rat mode is pretty much static and not really accurate to the show. I know they're going for more realistic animal modes, but this one was very, very different from the CGI model. He's got kibble that I'm not going to fuss about that at this scale. So, yeah, it's basically him in rat mode. So for robot mode, his transformation is actually pretty good and pretty well engineered at this scale. And the robot mode, most of the issues I have with the rat mode disappear in robot mode. This robot mode is pretty darn accurate. I really like that they put little maximal symbols on his arms. That's a very nice touch, and it was probably hard to pull off. Really, the only thing appearance-wise that bugs me is the back. It should compress a little bit more, but still. Really, my biggest complaint with this figure is that things don't really lock into place. The shoulder, comes loose, these knees. But still, I say he's a really good and fun little figure. It is definitely one that's worth getting, and I don't really think it's a ripoff. So yeah, 4th place goes to Rat Trap. In 3rd place, we have Optimus Primal. And a lot of people have been saying that they feel like this guy is kind of small despite being a Voyager. But I say he makes up for it, just all the cool features he has. Now, his Gorilla Mode, I've got some issues with it. It's still not too bad. The face, I would prefer to show accurate face, but it's really not that bad. You can store the swords on his Gorilla Mode. But here is just the base Gorilla Mode. And yeah, I say this Gorilla Mode is, it's good enough. It does what it's supposed to do. And then when you have his standing up part of his Gorilla Mode, it's decent. Again, it's pretty good. The knees look really weird when you do it like this. But still, overall, I'd say his Gorilla Mode, it's good. So for Robot Mode, now his transformation, I absolutely love it. For the most part, it really recreates the transformation sequence we saw in the original Beast Wars series. And this Robot Mode is really good. I mean, it's got a few color inaccuracies. The gray should be maybe a little bit brighter. Fur texture is a bit much, and maybe the feet and the hips should be different colors. But other than that, I mean, he's got his swords. He's got good articulation. He has his hidden arm cannons. He's got his flip-out shoulder cannons. And then when you lift this part up here, I think that's supposed to be like the Gorilla thrusters. At least that's the Prime Jets. I think that's what it's called. But maybe it's supposed to be there. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. It's really cool, though. I really like this figure. And the head sculpt is pretty much perfect. As far as the money you're paying for him, I say the features he has makes him worth it. And it's Optimus Primal. You need Optimus Primal. Collecting Beast Wars figures. So, yeah. 3rd place goes to Optimus Primal. 2nd place goes to Black Arachnia. While the Spider Mode is okay, it's the abdomen, I feel like it should be back here a little bit more. She's got really good weapon storage, though. I like how this stores here. You can imagine like it fires up and she can just come down on her web. Sure, it's got kibble, but I mean, I don't know what else to expect. It's just how it's going to go. So that basically covers the Spider Mode. So for Robot Mode, the transformation can be a little bit finicky. Makes me a little bit nervous just because of how slender this figure is. And I guess there's one part that could break. I might just go ahead and break the tab off because I heard that, decreases the risk of it breaking. And the articulation on this figure is not that great. With how the legs work, you can't really kick them forward that far. So why is she in 2nd place? Because it pretty much looks like they reached into the TV screen and just pulled her out with this figure. It's just that good of a recreation, aside from the color of the spider legs. And fembots a lot of times suffer from really bad back kibble. That's it. That's it right there. She stands well. She's got a good gun. And she just really looks the part. And that's why this figure is 2nd place. But of course, number 1 spot definitely has to go to Cyclonus. What can I say? This figure is just pretty much perfect. This is my favorite figure in this line. This is my favorite figure I have in my whole collection, I think. And I'm predicting it will be the #1 figure of the year for me on my list, unless something comes along and really blows me away. I mean, just look at this jet mode. It's just so clean for the most part. There's not really a whole lot of robot kibble to speak of. It's got landing gear. Just, I thought the Earthrise Secret Mode was okay, but I'm honestly kind of starting to not like it just because of how solidly engineered this figure is. And he's just got some really nice, shiny purple paint on him. And the weapon storage is good. It's okay. You can flip out the landing gear and just... Oh man, I could just go on forever about this jet mode. Now for robot mode and his transformation, I mean, it pretty much feels like when they were designing the transformation for this figure that Hasbro looked me up and saw everything I liked in a transformation and put it into this figure. That's just how it is. The transformation is just perfect. It's so good. And just think about that nose cone, that long nose cone, that's all tucked inside here. They concealed it completely. I mean, that is just so amazing. I mean, the Earthrise Secret Mold, they're just hung off the back. And he has light piping. That's becoming pretty rare nowadays. And just, he feels well made and he just looks amazing. He's a tall Voyager. He is above and beyond worth the $30 you pay for him, or unless you're in another place where it's a different price, but no matter what price you're paying for it, he's worth it. He's just that amazing of a figure. So Cyclonus, hands down, takes #1. So that is my ranking video for all the figures I have from Kingdom Wave 1. I am really enjoying this line so far. It's got some flaws, except for him. But for the most part, it's a really good toy line. I'm just really enjoying it. I don't know if it's past Siege yet. It's definitely better than Earthrise. I can say that for sure. So I hope this video has helped you in deciding who you want to get, who you want to start with, who you want to maybe wait for clearance on, and that kind of thing. So that's my ranking for Kingdom Wave 1. If you like this video, please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and God bless.